Hi, welcome to our segment on special effects generators coming to you from the basement studios of VideoMaker. We're here with Dave Welton.
Hi, Matt.
How's it going, Dave?
Good.
And we're going to talk about SEGs. These are devices that allow people to make professional level effects with relatively affordable products. Here's a couple of units here. This one's a little more, the bigger they are, usually the more bang you get for your buck, even though it has nothing to do with what goes on inside there. One of the first things that we're going to do, Dave's going to be the master here, is fade to black.
Okay.
Kind of do at the end of a show and say, okay, goodbye. There, or fade from black, saying, oh, here we are. We're here to open up a show for you. How can you demo with the special effects generator a basic dissolve where you go from one mix it slightly with another? There we go. This happens all the time. This shows passage of time, or sometimes, meanwhile, back at the ranch kind of effect. Now, one of my favorites, pioneered, I think, by the Flash Gordon movies I keep thinking about, is a wipe, where you have both video on the, there it is, the same time, on the same screen at the same time, where there's a vertical wipe. But also, there are so many different wipe patterns these days.
There are,
it's like
man.
Whatever you really want to do. There's a, I don't know what you would call that, but it's coming out of the bottom there. You can use circles and things like that, I guess.
Reverse it. Or
reverse. I guess, you know, there are interesting applications for such a thing, but that's your basic one there. What do you call this? Is picture in a picture?
That's a picture in picture.
Huh.
Yes, it is.
So there we go. I just reversed it.
That'll reverse it.
In the corner. That's kind of neat. A little bit more grainy, but boy, that's really something. We can actually bounce ourselves around like that.
It does lose a little resolution when you do that.
Wow, look at that. That's really high tech, you know. Okay, now some of the MTO is a little smaller.
Got smaller.
It happened by mistake, huh? Wow. Okay. Now let's go to an effect that you see a lot on MTV, which is a strobe effect. Where
there we go.
See, Madonna can do a lot more justice to that than we can, but you can kind of get the effect there. Now, how about still, where you actually just freeze it? See, we got Dave's finger just stuck on there. We're still moving, I can promise you that, but we're stuck there. We release that back to, oh, there we go. All right, that's kind of a neat one. How about, what do we got here? Mosaic. This is another one I think that is kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know why someone would want that, but if you want it, there it is. But you can, I think when you're trying to hide someone's identity, you know how to do that?
Let's see if we can get that going, Matt. One thing I should mention is there's a lot of buttons on this machine, and sometimes
kind of plow through and try. Huh?
Okay, we're getting close.
There we go.
All right, now we want to just reverse that, so we want the strobe.
There we go.
There we go.
You can actually make it a little smaller, and you can say, "Oh, who's that guy there trying to learn how to run this thing? It must be Dave."
There you go. But, and you can see you can change the size of the blocks in the mosaic pattern.
I mean, what would life be at? without being able to change the size of those blocks, right? Okay, let's move on to paint. This is another kind of MTV effect here, where. By the way, we're painting inside the circle.
We're painting just inside the circle. Let's turn the circle off, and so you can get the full screen effect.
There we go. I see. So, I mean, I guess it looks better when there's more colorful things going on in the background. But there's different levels that I see. Now, there's also a keying effect that we can combine with that here.
That's right.
And there we go. Look at that. That's kind of neat. We can actually change the colors.
We can change the color.
Look at that yellow. Look at that. It look kind of like.
Now what it's doing, Matt, is it's taking the really dark parts of the image and just inserting a different color that we've selected here, in this case the green, on those areas of dark picture.
Look at that. That's really neat. This is like, this one here reminds me of us being like a couple Santa Clauses here.
Yes.
Right? All right, now let's see. Any other effects we overlooked here at all? That covers the basics, I guess. I guess the key thing is to get out there and try it before you buy, because literature just doesn't cut it here. Because if you're going to try to spend that much money, you just can't really expect to know the product before you try it. So that's about it for our SEG segment. Thanks for being with us, Dave.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, look at that. It's really high tech,